Welcome to another episode of Philosophy of Chillin. I'm your host, Delma Connect, and today I wanted to talk about a topic that has not been able to get out of my head, and it deals with what I understand to be a mental concept that can feel and be very overpowering. So today I want to talk through control. And when I say control, I mean honestly the sense of whether we have it or not. And I really want to dissect and think through why that feeling of power is so sought after and what does it ring true about the individual. Um, because at the end of the day, depending on that person and their mental state, then there's no telling, what that person will say or do to get to the vision in which that they want. So, I mean, I don't know where to start from. I guess for me, it matters most on where it comes from. Like, why do humans, regardless of the demographic, the ethnicity, or the dialect spoken, it it can be a feeling that can be so driving. It can truly make one stress in so many different ways, mentally, physically, and emotionally, especially in time where one does not feel like they have control within their situation. So I want to sit and kind of go through how can we utilize the philosophy of chilling, or how have I seen that actualized in my life and what I apply to get through those types of situations. So when I look in regards to the introspection, I always want to pose the question of what symbolizes, or what does an individual recognize control to be? And why is that the type of control that you deem necessary to be within your life so that you can function appropriately? And I even pose these questions to myself. And a lot of the times, in trying to pose those questions, it opens a window of opportunity for accountability, and at a degree to where if you are able to do it successfully, which is truly just, being transparently honest with yourself and evaluating appropriately on how you want to move forward, but essentially posing those questions opens a window for that accountability so you know how to move in response to a similar stimulating situation differently. Um, and that's what I kind of understand that first baby step to be. Um, because in thinking about control, Well, what is it? It's what I understand it to be is a mental concept of one able to not necessarily manipulate, but influence the functionalities of whether it be a system or what have you to match the idea of smoothness and functionality that one deems to be true. So if that's the case, then what do you hold at a certain pillar? And what's the type of pace you're trying to set with it? Like, where does that sense of stability derive from? And once somebody takes the step to answer those questions and even pose them to themselves, it can open the window of understanding, well, now that I understand what type of control I recognize to be soothing for me, who do you expect that from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are the triggers placed that make you feel like you're either in stability or in a stable place? And how do you respond to it? Because those two questions right there open a whole new window of perspective on how you receive the situations that you find yourself in, whether it be in the workplace, personally at home. It don't matter where you go. If you're there and you have your entity present and your perspective and awareness heightened, I mean, shoot, someone can feel a lack of control from any form of direction, even if it's not being intended to. So, what do you do to get through it and realize some form of growth in the aspect that you feel is necessary for you? And I guess after posing those questions, it becomes another step of walking what that vision of yourself looks like. What I mean by that, had to pause for dramatic effect. But not for real. What I mean by that is, okay, I've gone through the steps of asking myself, where is this control or feeling of control coming from? What do I recognize it to be? How does it trigger me when it's in a version of stability or instability? What does it do to me? How does it make me feel? Now I've answered these questions. Now where do I go from here? I have to either choose to walk it through and implement the things that I need to make me feel stable even in an unstable situation, or I carry on in sense of in heightened senses of pressure or instances of pressure, um, and keep just trying to do what I'm there to do. And that phase in itself can be very tricky to execute because essentially you have to be real about looking at you. And if you're not honest in with yourself and where you want to grow to, your actions are never going to amount to that version, even in the tiniest of forms. For example, okay, I have a pet and dog, and I can't control what this man does. This man is tortured up, like it's been a whole lot of shit. But what I've grown to realize is, yeah, I can be in an instance where I'm responding automatically, and to me, that's honestly like a blackout moment. It's not to the highest degree of one to where like you can't remember what you did for real. But at the same time, it is that instantaneous moment where I really got like 10, 5 seconds, maybe less than that, of just trying to take a pause and recollect where my mental was just at. And even trying to take that pause alone can be such a task in making sure you're doing it on an intentional basis, because it can really be like that. You feel me? And to me, a big part of that last final step of walking through that control is in understanding what it does to a person mentally, physically. Like, it really even can boil down to somebody's morals. Like, there could be someone that sees a vision so bad that they're willing to do anything to see that come in the form that they recognize. So there's no telling where a person could go if their sense of what it means to have control or to feel control is unstable or unstable. And to me, what it means to have the philosophy of chillin applied to these situations is to be able to walk through those questions with transparency and accountability, and further your commitment of action by communicating about it openly. Because even if your actions are speaking louder than your words, there has to be a point in time where you inform your environment on what best helps you. Because you're not asking these questions just to keep them inside of you. They're there to help reshape how you communicate what you need to be sane mentally, especially in different environments where you have to work with people damn near on a daily. Like, it's stepping stones to get to where you truly want to be. And in regards of trying to make sure you have a sense of control in situations that you can't control, a lot of what you're going to have to do as an individual is look at you as an entity. Because at the end of the day, there's a reason why a lot of things are out of your hands. Let's take this for example. If we are humans, if we are spirits having a human experience, you didn't even control the fact that you're here now. having to walk this life and make decisions and things of that sort. So if you didn't even have control over that, what makes you think on this material earth you supposed to have control over the functions and decisions of the people and things around you? What is being expected of you is to hold yourself to a standard where you're able to address how you react to what's happening to you. Because let's say at the end of the day, you want to have a sense of control on like your finances or the opportunities that you're being presented or whatever is most important to you in that aspect and degree. You're trying to find a sense of control, but there are elements that are out of your means. No matter how hard you try, or whatever mental state you try to apply or adapt to get it, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you really can control is yourself and the decisions that you make. You can't really control anybody else. If you did, I mean, you would probably have some powers or something, but you don't. So strength isn't in the physicality in this degree. It's about where your mentality is and how you're willing to apply it to physically obtain what you're trying to get. So, in thinking about how to get through the frustrations that having, or more specifically, not having a sense of control can do to you, it's really about, okay, well, what can I do to control my own response within these situations? What are the triggers that are making me feel some form of discomfort? And how can I make sure I maintain my mind so that I'm not reacting unconsciously in these high pressure situations that I'm being presented presently? You get what I'm saying? And even for myself, I have recorded this video yesterday, well before it was supposed to drop. Cause you know, we always drop new episodes every Sunday at 5 p.m. And I missed that deadline, but that was because of a situation that was out of my hands. And I would rather sit back, recollect myself, take time to digest, and then understand that I can't sit here and force a situation. Especially not if I'm sitting here trying to put a genuine aspect of who I am into a creation. Then that's just faking off, because I'm over here trying to force a situation that was out of my control in the beginning. And that puts everybody in even more stress and in a probably not so better situation than it was before. So at the end of the day, I mean, it can be easy to say, but to see it through really shows you how committed you are to the version of you that you're trying to grow to. And if you stay committed in those actions, I commend you, because it's difficult. And when you're tottering between situations that you feel, you're in control of, and oh, I got this, and then something happened, and now it's triggered you to feel like you're unstable. Take a minute to just pause, breathe, and just try to see the different angles of what's going on around you. As you're doing that, think about you. How are you making sure you're making a conscious effort to react in a way that protects your mental? So even in an uncontrollable situation, you still have some sense of control over you. And once you have that, you can pretty much get through. You know what I'm saying? So, that's pretty much all I got right now on the topic of control. That's how I see what it means to me being applied in my life. And as always, I hope this is helpful. I don't know, but this is an outlet for me that helps me feel a sense of stability. So to be able to share this with the people around me, who knows? So with that being said, I'm your host, Dylan the Connect, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.